My name's John Graham, and I'm the badass granddad you didn't know you had. Today I want to talk about manhood. Women, don't go away, because I'm talking about the guys in your life. I grew up in a small city, totally ordinary family. My father was a nice guy, but he was a weak guy, and not the role model I needed when I was having sand kicked in my face as a 98-pound weakling. The first role model in my life was not my father. It was a seaman named Roy, 250-pound guy, and he was on a ship I was sailing on. I was on deck one day, and another member of the crew comes up and starts making sexual advances, and Roy grabs this guy around the throat, shoves him up against the bulkhead, kicks the shit out of him, and lets loose a string of cussing that was just magnificent. So I went back down to my room that night and practiced cussing like Roy, because Roy became the role model of manhood that I wanted. Next year, I was hitchhiking in Algeria right through the revolution, and I happened to stop with a bunch of French Foreign Legionnaires, three guys with a couple of pistols and a machine gun who were going to hold off the whole rebel army, and they were burnt black by the sun, and they were brave, and they also became role models. And I read books on the people like this, John Wayne types, tough guys, domineering, powerful. They were what I wanted to be, so I started to become that kind of a man myself. I was in the middle of the revolution in Libya, then I went to Vietnam, and in the middle of the battle there, something changed. I looked around and I saw that this war, which was a lost war, a war I hated, a war I knew was wrong, was being run by a bunch of people just like me, men for whom the only thing that mattered was a risk and domineering and power, and we were keeping things going, and it was not right. I came back from that war, went to California. I went to what they called then encounter groups where you sort of sat around and talked about your life as honestly as you could. And I discovered that what I had done my whole life up till then was like nailing a bunch of plywood over my heart. I was a compassionate guy. I did have a heart, but I couldn't see it. I couldn't feel the emotions in there, and I had to change, and I slowly began to change. I found that heart. I became much more compassionate. My relationships with friends, and especially with women, increased remarkably. I began to be a peacemaker. I began to make positive differences in the world, and I've continued for the 50 years since then. And so, young men watching this, all I can say is take a look at who you're taking examples from in order to be a man. It's okay to cry at movies. It's okay to be powerful. It's just that you need to direct that power towards something that matters, something positive, something that makes you a complete human being. Find the right role models. That's key.